Welcome to the Art of Semi-Fiction. I'm Jane Daly.
And I am Robynne Miller.
And the burning question we're going to answer today is, do I need an agent? So first, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story of how I found my agent.
In England, they say, are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. And then they tell a story.
Do they have tea and crumpets?
Not in bed, crumbs. Come on.
Okay. So I had published traditionally 2 books, and I felt like I now needed an agent. I really wanted to move forward in my professional writing life and decided I needed an agent. And I had a friend who I knew was kind of connected with the business. And I said, so I was talking to him and saying, yeah, I think I'm ready to look for an agent. I need an agent to help me advance. And so he was connected with Credo Communications, which is where my agent is. So he said, I'm going to connect you with Credo. I'm going to recommend you. So he recommended me and to a woman who actually was an agent with Credo. And I did a little Googling search on her to see who she was and if she looked like I was going to like her.
Mm-hmm.
Did she look
little stalking?
Did she look nice? And I found out that she was going to be at a writers' conference where I was going to be. So I sent her a very quick little email. And I said, I'm looking forward to meeting you. You were recommended to me by my friend, whose name I won't mention because I'm not sure if he wants his name mentioned, but anyway. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the writers' conference. And so we connected at the writers' conference and hit it off. And I showed her some of my writing samples, and we talked and we were able to hang out together in a very informal way, which we've talked about writing conferences, the advantages, and one of them is the networking.
Yes.
So she ended up calling me probably 2 weeks after the conference. I remember vividly, I was standing in Target and I didn't recognize the number, but I saw that it was from another state. And so I answered it, and it was her telling me, we've decided that we want to sign you. And I'm in Target trying not to scream. So I was like, she goes, where are you? And I said, I'm in Target and I'm trying not to scream. And she goes, go in the back corner so you can scream. Like, no, I think I'll just wait till I get out into the parking lot. So for me, having an agent is important, and I want to hear your story, and then we'll talk about the pros and the pros and cons of whether you need an agent or not. But I'm anxious to hear, how did you find your agent?
My agent kind of came in the back door as we keep hammering home the importance of relationships.
Oh yeah,
when we're in publishing, right? And I met my agent when she wasn't an agent. She is a very accomplished author, Cynthia Ruchti. So look her up. She's won awards. She's very, very accomplished author and teacher. She does a phenomenal teacher on all sorts of writing topics.
She's a delightful human being.
She is. She's swell. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely love her. And I happen to be in her morning mentoring clinic at one of the conferences. And again, this is before she's an agent. And we just hit it off. We connected.
It's like kismet.
It really is. It was so, her sense of humor is awesome. We have shared interests. She's a wonderful singer, and I've been a worship leader for years, and we just connected. Love her way of communicating. Just loved everything about her. There was a moment where I realized something about my writing in her class. So she was like there at a very, kind of epic moment for me as a writer. And then the writing conference was gone. And funnily enough, your agent was pursuing me as possibly going to sign. And but I wasn't looking for an agent at that time. I was still doing my my master's of fine arts degree. I thought, let me just get through that, and then we'll get back to. I'd already published at that point, 3 or 4 books. Can't even remember, but I was not really looking to do that until my degree was done. So then I got pursued by her. On the day that she was sending me a contract to sign me, she decided to take a career change, which was we're not going to weep.
Don't dwell on that because it'll make me sad. I still do have an agent. It's just not her.
It's just not her. But she was lovely, and there was nothing nefarious, nothing weird going on. She just made the right decision for her
in her career move. She made a career move, basically.
But I didn't even know. I say this. I didn't even know I wanted to go to the prom until somebody asked me, and then they move out of state. It's kind of what happened. So I was talking to my husband Ian, and I was saying, now I feel like I've lost it. I wasn't even looking for it, but I lost it. But now I feel like I've lost it. And he said, well, tell me, if you feel like maybe an agent this was to kind of get agenting in your brain, who are you interested in? Knowing that I was involved in the larger writing community, I knew a lot of agents by this point. I've been to a lot of writers' conferences, was involved in Inspire.
And you kind of get to where you think, I know what I don't want.
Yeah.
I know what I don't want. Maybe not too sure of what I want, but I know what I don't want.
Exactly. So I've already had seen enough to know what I wanted and what I didn't want. And so I started describing my ideal agent. And my husband, Ian, said, do you know anybody like that? And I said, yes, I do. Oh my gosh, yes, it is absolutely Cynthia Ruchte. And he said, well, why don't you contact her? And I said, well, she's not an agent.
Not an agent.
so it's not going to be very helpful if she's not an agent. So I go with very, very short amount of time. I go to my email, and guess who's become an agent? And
let me think. Was it Cynthia?
It was Cynthia. She was signed as an agent. Came on board as an agent with Books and Such agency, and I was one of the first clients that she signed. So all of that came out of just going about my daily life as a writer, going to a writing conference, meeting people, getting input, connecting, building relationship. So for me, you had a little bit more proactive. You knew that was the time in your career to do it. You got recommendations from people you trusted. You were connected via those kind of relationships. So it was more the person who, at the time, before you built the relationship with your agent, you were connected through another relationship, whereas I had a direct relationship, but was teaching and student kind of relationship. But when it came together, it just felt like we met, in the produce aisle at Safeway and fell in love over the, asparagus tips kind of thing. It felt natural. It felt right. It felt like we could collaborate on making beautiful writing together. That was my story.
That is one of the advantages of having an agent. So the big question is do I need an agent? And
you said I hope everybody caught that. Your first 2 books
did not have an
agent.
I was totally out there. I didn't even really know what an agent was. I was pretty green. But see, by the time I finished, did my second book, I was like, nope. One of the advantages I know of having an agent would be helping negotiate contract terms.
Yes.
When I got the first contract, I just signed it without even thinking. The second contract, I did read it. But
my husband has a law degree. Don't tell him that you didn't even read the contract.
I glanced at it. No, the second one, the big one, I read, but a lot of the terms as a layperson, I don't understand. An agent can be helpful not only to help you understand what the terms are, but help you negotiate.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be amounts that you will earn on print. There's amounts that you're going to earn on ebooks, and then when you're going to get
foreign
paid,
rights,
all of that stuff, and they can really be helpful to make sure that you get the best deal that you can.
Yeah.
Because as an author, we're kind of at their mercy.
Yeah.
And so it also helps to have that go between, so that I don't have to be the one talking to the publisher and saying, no, I want 50% of every book that you sell, because they're going to say no.
Yeah.
But your agent will help negotiate that. Also, your agent is going to help you understand royalty statements. Once you start getting a royalty statement, you will see that it is almost impossible to understand, because there's so many line items of how many books were sold here, there, and everywhere, and how much it was. And, at the end, you're like, well, but I still don't, I didn't get a check. Where's my check?
Exactly. I mean, and this is from a woman who is the vice president of a bank. So she gets a statement and she can't decode it. You know that the mere mortals among us, like me, need a little help.
Yeah, and your agent can help with that. Your agent can also be somebody that you can bounce ideas off. Yeah. So for instance, I won't go into a long story, but I have an agent, but I may be transitioning to another agent. Long story, but same. I'm still with Credo Communications, which I love. But so this new person that I'm going to actually meet face to face, I have an idea that I want to pitch, but I need to know if she can tell me, is there anything else out there like that? Could she help me tweak it so that it could possibly turn into something that I could write? Because I'm very passionate about it. So an agent can help you. If you have the right relationship with your agent, they can help you. They can bounce ideas, and they'll know there's been 1,200 books written on that subject. Don't write that. But how about if you do it this way? Yeah. Because they know what's happening out in the market, and they'll be able to guide you.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I realize is they're so well connected. We keep talking about relationship is so important. And our agents are in an agency, and the agency as a whole is going to have a collective amount of decades of experience and connections and relationship. And they talk amongst themselves about all the projects that are in an agency. So it's not just your own individual agent. You're getting to access all that wisdom and relationship. It's all of the agents in that agency. And they're going to know, because they're going to have been at a conference where somebody is saying, I am looking for a book on this. And they're going to know that in a way that a writer will never have access to those behind the scenes kind of private conversations that happen in relationship amongst agents and publishers and editors. So they're going to have access to, the elite room of people and know what's going on. They have the finger on the pulse of the industry in a way that we can't possibly.
Which is invaluable to you as an author. One thing I do want to caution is that if you are a brand new writer and you're just beginning, and you've written a book, you may want to wait before you think agent, because you want to make sure that you don't want to burn any bridges. So you don't want to submit something to an agent that is not very good. Yeah. And you may not be a good judge of whether it's very good or not, which is, we talk a lot about critique groups and brainstorming and writing partners and editing and all of that. So
even as a paid editor,
wait.
I mean, you're a professional writer, and you still understand the value of getting something professionally critiqued and professionally edited.
I have spent a lot of money having things professionally edited. Yeah, because I believe that it's really important when you submit something that it should be the best. Yeah. Also, an agent can help you with career direction. Yeah. So my ultimate goal is to be to retire from my full-time job as a bank vice president person. And go into writing and speaking. Yeah. So your agent can help you direct you with where you're going in your career, to know my goal is to publish a book a year, or my goal is to publish a book every other year. Yeah. Or to do 3 books in a year, because I believe, I can do that. So they can help guide you and let you know if that's reasonable, if you're on the right track. They're a valuable resource. Very good resource.
Absolutely. And I think that you having access to somebody who, again, just like a publisher only makes money when you are successful with your book, your agent only gets paid when you are successful too. So they're not there to just cheer you on, and they're not there to feed your ego. They're there to help you make the best business decisions, the best writing decisions, the best, contract decisions that are in your best interest. I love a business model where somebody is invested 100% in my success as a means of their success.
And let me just say that there are a lot of shysters out there that will say that they will be your agent if you pay them $2,500 or $1,500. Your agent will never ask you for money up front. They only get paid when you get paid.
It's the same as vanity publishing. If a publisher is asking you for money, you are being pretty much, that's not a traditional publishing house. You don't want to be involved in that. If their business model is that you are their funding source, you are how they make money, either an agent or a publisher, run screaming.
Run screaming.
Yeah.
So let's talk about why you may not ever need an agent. So there are some people who will never, frankly, they don't want to.
Well, and you and I have two different reasons that neither of us did too.
Well,
so,
so one of the reasons that you may not need an agent is if you want to write a couple of books and then go and speak.
Yeah.
And that's all you're going to do. You're going to write a book on the art of quilting with a short needle. So you've written a huge book, and basically you're just going to go speak to quilting groups about this wonderful
and have that
art
on the back table.
And have it on the back table to sell. Or maybe you have written a book on overcoming some obstacle, and you're going to speak to groups on overcoming that obstacle.
Yeah.
And that's the only book that you plan to write. You will not need an agent for that because they're really in it for a long term. Your agent is in it for your long term career.
That's a very important point. If you are a one-trick pony, you've got one thing, one book, one and done. Most agents, editors, and publishers will not invest in you. If you are a career writer, then they will. They will. So if you're one and done, probably not. Agent.
If your intent is to only write articles or devotionals, you probably don't need an agent.
Yeah.
Why let them take 15% or whatever, 20% of your income that you get from writing a 300-word article or devotional? It's not necessary.
Yeah.
There are people who have made a career of writing devotionals or writing articles. There are a bunch of magazines and online outlets where you can write, and they will pay you good money. And people make money at that. You don't need an agent if that's what you plan to do. You also don't need an agent if you plan to self-publish. Right?
Exactly.
Ms. Robynne?
I will say yes to that.
Yes, because you have self-published numerous books.
Yes, I have.
And you did not have an agent.
And there was a specific, when you have a very niche market and you have access to it, that's a great, I don't need an agent arena. And in my case, being an expert on Little House on the Prairie, real life characters, I didn't need an agent to connect me with my audience. I didn't need an agent to sell the books. And because our audience is already, my platform was already cultivated there. I speak nationally on the topics and things. So I didn't need it. And, but for other things, I certainly will. So it really is project.
That's why you have an agent
project.
now.
Yeah. Project by project.
Well, and my last point is that if you feel like you're equipped to negotiate with editors on your own, go for it. But let me tell you that.
But you're not.
but no, that's what I was going to say. So if you don't have an agent, it is exhausting to query. So if I've written a book and I'm querying here, 15 people a week and waiting for responses and doing all this work, and then having to negotiate a contract, it can be overwhelming. And that's where you need an agent, because an agent will do that footwork for you of doing all of the querying. All you have to do is write the proposal, do the project. They'll take care of all of that, which frees you up to do what?
Writing. Yes.
All right. So I hope that answered your burning question of, do I need an agent? And you've been listening to The Art of Semi-Fiction, where we explore every corner of the written word. I'm Jane Daly.
And I'm Robynne Miller. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like us.